We welcome on now one of my favorites, one of the best to do it, Jonathan Coachman, all over the place, hosts a coaching company, works with the PFL, checked out the broadcast last week on ESPN, PGA. Coach, I want to talk college football. I want to talk a little NFL, but I have a
Yeah.
request from my son. He's 11 years old. We're going to do this every week. So I hope you don't
Okay.
mind. I got a wrestling
Never.
question. So
Sure.
tonight's was, do you think that there's any chance that Chris Jericho goes back to the WWE?
I do. We actually talked about it a lot this week. His contract's coming up in AEW, and he's an OG guy, and I think a lot of WWE OG guys want to go back to end their career. He's 54 years of age. So tell your son, yes, I think that he started trolling us with the videos of him returning at the Royal Rumble years ago. It could be because I think his deal's up in December. So maybe the Royal Rumble, but you're not going to see him with a full-time schedule. He's getting old.
I was going to say,
But, yeah,
he's
he'll be
getting
back.
old. Speaking of old and maybe a little senile, Jerry Jones, man. I don't like to take shots at the elderly, but I think it's time that Jerry goes away for a while. Now, they do get the Dallas Cowboys trade Micah Parsons, the one nice piece they have on the defensive side of the ball today. And they do get 2 first-round picks. The problem is, man, they're the Green Bay Packers picks. So historically, those are anywhere from like pick 19 to 27 in the first round. They do get Kenny Clark, solid player, but he's 30 years old. In return, the Green Bay Packers get Micah Parsons in the prime of his career. So let's start with the Dallas Cowboys. What the hell are they doing? And if I give you $100, going under or over 7.5 wins now?
Oh my gosh, they have so much talent. It's unbelievable to me that they can still they're worth what? They're worth $13 billion and haven't done anything in 28 years. And then Jerry Jones last week says, hey, we offered him the most of any non-quarterback guarantee of all time, but that wasn't good enough for him. And then blamed his agent, the same agent who got this deal done for $40 million plus in Green Bay. Now, did they overpay for him? Yeah, they did. He hasn't been great since his rookie year, but he's still pretty good. I just don't think Michael wanted to play in Dallas anymore. I think that's what it boiled down to, or he would have signed that deal a week ago. I did see, Ryan, a funny meme that's circulating on Twitter about 20 minutes ago, and it's one of those like death things saying, we regret to inform you that Jerry Jones was found alive in his home today, and the reverse of it. Because I think Dallas Cowboy fans, and have you watched any, Ryan, of the new documentary American Made or America's Team?
Oh yeah. It's excellent. And Jerry's story is insane.
And the thing he's best at, and now we know, is borrowing money, because he says it in every episode, and he clearly is not good at signing players that are cohesive. He's never put together a really good team, just really good players. So good luck to Green Bay. $42 million a year, something like that. That's crazy, but good for him if he can get it.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what, man? It's not like this is new either. If you go back in the 90s, I was talking about this the other night on the show. He didn't want to pay Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith led the league in rushing. The Dallas Cowboys go on to win a Super Bowl in the early 90s, and Emmitt had to hold out the first couple games of the next season because he didn't want to make him the highest paid running back in the league. He didn't want to give him Marcus Allen money because he had just paid Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin. So, yeah, he's a crazy person. What about Green Bay? They moved all the way down to 1,100 to win the Super Bowl. Who do you like in the NFC? Would it be Green Bay? Does this move the needle for you, or is there a team that you like a little bit more maybe?
It does, because Green Bay, people forget that under LaFleur, they've gone to the playoffs 5 out of 6 years. This is a perennial playoff team. But what's happened when they've lost in the playoffs? Well, they get to that really hard game, and they need a stop, and they can't get it. I think Jordan Love's going to take a step forward this year. And I think if nothing else, you're paying now. And let's be honest, the NFL, $40-some million is not even the highest paid player, so the highest paid non-quarterback. But they needed him, Ryan. They need somebody on the defensive side that's a stud, that has a little arrogance, a little swag to him, because Jordan Love has that on the offensive side. I think they're going to be a playoff team this year, and we're going to know right out of the gate how good they're going to be, because Detroit has a big chip on their shoulder. I think Minnesota regresses. They have a first-year quarterback in J.J. McCarthy, and then I think Chicago is Chicago. So Green Bay, though, because you look across the NFC, to me, there's no powerhouse like there is in the AFC, where you got the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Ravens. On the NFC side, go to any of the divisions, Ryan, and you're not going to find a really, really stud team, with the exception of maybe the Eagles.
Yeah, I completely agree. Hey, I want to get your opinion on this one because me and Brad keep going back and forth on this. I think Pittsburgh could be a serious contender, even though Aaron Rodgers is pushing 42 years old. Just because
Mhm.
you just said this about Matt LaFleur, too, man. Mike Tomlin, obviously, we all know this. He's never had a losing season. And he's made the playoffs with Duck Hodges and Mason Rudolph and the corpse of Ben Roethlisberger and Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. Rodgers doesn't even have to be MVP Rodgers. He just has to stay healthy and be serviceable. Where are you at with the Steelers, though? Because that's such a tough division, obviously, with Baltimore, with Cincinnati. The Browns are going to be a joke. But what do you think about the Steelers this year?
Well, real quick, when we have time, I have two amazing stories you won't believe about my time in the WWE and the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's all I'm going to say. And Big Ben. There are crazy stories when we have time. I'm high on the Steelers. And one of the guys on Coaching Company who works for ESPN, Mark Zeno, he's very high on the Steelers. He thinks Aaron Rodgers is going to have a nice bounce back year. He thinks that they're trolling us with some of the videos that have come out that I'm sure you've seen where he looks like he is moving in mud. I'm like, that can't possibly be the Aaron Rodgers of today. But he's very high on them. And when you look at the pressure that's now on Lamar Jackson in Baltimore, yeah, they looked good in the preseason. They always do. But now you have DK Metcalf, and now that you've got a high-paid and motivated TJ Watt, I think the Steelers could be a really, really good football team. And in their division, Cincinnati, Ryan, who are they going to stop? Cincinnati cannot score 45 points every single week to compete in the AFC. I think Joe Burrow, unfortunately, is playing for a franchise where he got his bag and they don't want to give anybody else their bag. I mean, are you serious with Trey Hendrickson right now? They give him a $14 million raise and no extra years, and he goes, oh, it's an honor. It's an absolute honor. That's the team that the Steelers are dealing with. But Ryan, at some point, we've got to stop with the narrative of no losing seasons, because to me, it's about playoffs. It's about, are you moving on in the playoffs? And as Mike Tomlin, as good as he is and as highly respected as he is, they haven't done anything in the playoffs for a really, really long time. And to me, I understand what they're about, but they've got to make a change if he can't get into the playoffs and then win in the playoffs.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm buddies with a lot of Steelers fans. They want to Mike Tomlin out. I'm like, you guys are crazy. But I get it, man. I mean, it's almost like I'm a Bulls fan, and every year they make the play-in game. I call it basketball hell. I'd rather be terrible and get the next Wemby or get the next
so true.
Flash.
That's so true.
You know what I mean? Than win games with Kobe White every year. All right, so I got a quick story. It's not really that long, man. I was in Vegas. This is like a decade plus ago. This is when Ben Roethlisberger, I don't know that he was married at the time. He was a wild man. He had like the long hair going. And my buddies wanted to go to this topless pool party. And I was like, we do this every year, guys. Trust me, the girls that you want to see topless at this pool party are not there. Like, picture like my Aunt Meg. That's who's going to be at this party. We go, and it's wild, man. And I forgot. It was like Kelvin Harris was the DJ. But the first person that we see when we walk in is Ben Roethlisberger. And he is double fisting. I don't want to call the guy out. Red Bull vodkas, man, like 22-ounce Red Bull vodkas. And I was like, man, this man's heart may explode. I need that WWE story if we have time, or the Steelers or Roethlisberger one.
I'll give you the two very, very quick. Well,
right.
The year they won 2006, they won, and we happened to have Monday Night Raw in Pittsburgh the day they got there, or the night that they got their rings. So they had a party at Heinz Ward's bar. Well, in order, and this is not me, I'm just quoting what they said, that you had to be a 9 or a 10 to get upstairs into the party. So I borrow Max Starks. He's a former tackle for the Steelers. I borrow his ring. I was the third string tight end for that night. One of the best nights of my life. If you know, Ryan, you know. And everybody there thought, oh, man, you were amazing. I was like, yeah, I'm on the field goal team. I'm on the punt team. Nobody had a clue, and they bought it for the entire night. The other one was, remember the playoff game that Big Ben played the Colts when the bus was down to the 2 and they take a timeout and there's a commercial?
Yep.
We had a house show. So I called Big Ben. We had become buddies at that point. I'm like, man, you guys got it. You got it down. You're going. And I hand the phone to Cena. Cena hands it to Kane. Kane hands it, and because it's an afternoon game. So all of us leave this message at the timeout, about a 2-minute message. They come back. I said, congratulations, man. Go get him. Click. As soon as I go click, he hands it to the bus. You remember what happened? Fumble! They take it back the other way. All of us are horrified because we just left Big Ben a message that's sitting in his locker as a dude's running back the other way for the game-winning touchdown. And somehow, the slowest quarterback of all time tackles him around the 35, but we had to sweat it out. We're like, do we call him back? Do we say sorry? And Cena was like, no. Let's see what happens. They stop him on 4th down. No harm, no foul. And we never told him to this day that ever happened. He was like, thanks, guys. You guys are the best. We didn't tell him when we actually left the message.
That's insane. Did you ever have like a bad interaction? Because, obviously like in the WWE, the WWF at the time, you guys would always bring in celebrities, bring in athletes. Like I remember as a kid watching Lawrence Taylor and Bam Bam Bigelow.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a bad encounter with anybody, or were they all pretty positive?
Rob Schneider was a part of the Diva Search years ago that I hosted, and let's just say that he liked to have a good time at all the wrong times. And so he came up to the gorilla, and Vince looked at him. He was literally bouncing up and down like he couldn't stop moving, and he could probably figure out why. And and Vince looked at me and was like, this is the guy that's going to help. I said, Vince, you booked him. I mean, he's Adam Sandler's boy. And we get out there. It was an absolute disaster, a disaster. He was the worst one by far. But LL Cool J was the best.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. Huge LL fan, man. I love the stories about him and Jamie Foxx on the set of Any Given Sunday. If you ever heard that, like Jamie Foxx did it in his stand-up where he said LL thought that like he was really on a football team. So every day they'd be going to the shoot and he'd be smacking him on the back of the head or on the pads, like, we got to get to practice. He's like, man, we are filming a movie. We are not real athletes. They ended up getting a fight, which it's a good story. All right, before we get you out of here, man, obviously we got probably the game of the year, definitely the game of the week in college football, Texas, Ohio State. Are you buying the Arch Manning hype? Are you back in Ohio State, the defending champs at home with 2 new coordinators? Who would you pick in this game now that we moved from a 3.5-point spread really to a pick at 1.5?
I'm taking Texas, and I couldn't even believe that Texas, first number 1 team as an underdog in the history of the preseason polls. They're going on the road. To me, this is why Archie Manning went to Texas. He's going to make $6.8 million in NIL money, and he's probably the only one that I say deserves it. He's kept his mouth shut. He's set for 2 years. This is now his team, and these are the games that, Ryan, you start to make your legacy. You start to become a star before you head for the NFL. I think, even though I wish it was in prime time, but regardless, I think Texas goes into Ohio State. Too many changes for the Buckeyes. I think Texas gets it done. I think Archie Manning. Now, whether or not he should be the favorite for the Heisman Trophy, come on. We haven't played a game yet, but I think he certainly is good enough if he has a good year to win the Heisman and the national championship.
Bill Belichick makes his coaching debut at the collegiate level for North Carolina this weekend. They're actually 3.5-point dogs taking on TCU. I think there's like too much unknown to predict the game, but what do you think year one for Belichick, especially with everything going on in his life, man? Do you think it's a success, or do you think they're just average, or it's a failure year one at Carolina?
I don't know if he's focused, because word on the street is him and his boo thing just copyrighted Gold Digger a day or two ago. So if that's what his focus is on, instead of on his team and where the hotel they're going to stay in and all that good stuff, I really don't know if Bill Belichick knows what he's getting into. I don't know if he has the energy to be a college coach. I don't know if he has the desire when you've been in that many Super Bowls. So I just don't think North Carolina is going to be that good. And I think you're going to see more and more drama with Boo Thing. I won't even say her name. Yeah. I just call her Boo Thing.
Yeah, I actually always forget her name, but I'm with you, dude. I bet their win total.
That's probably why I do it, too.
In the ACC, I was like, what is wrong with you guys, man? Clemson's in the ACC. Miami's in the ACC. You guys can't even name me North Carolina's starting quarterback. Before we let you go, I know you said before we got on the air, you're finally back home after a month on the road. What do you got coming up next? Where can people find you?
Yep, every single day we're live on the Stadium Network, Amazon Prime, DirecTV, 10 to 11 a.m., Coach and Company. It's sports betting. We also have the Coach and Bro Show 2 times a week. It's our pro wrestling. And then, of course, I've got my brand new SiriusXM daily pro wrestling show, 2 to 4 Eastern. It's called Off the Ropes with the Coach. So we're super busy. PFL is on hiatus for a little bit, but that's awesome. And the PGA Tour, as we know, is on hiatus. So I'm good until the beginning of the year, but we still stay super busy. So, and then I'll be here with you every week. So I'm hyped about that too.
Yeah, I was going to say every Thursday we'll be doing this, man. We'll have Thursday Night Football, so a ton to get to. Thanks a lot, man. Enjoy your weekend. Take care, and let's do it again next week.
Love you, brother. I'll see you next week. Tell the son, make sure those questions are ready every single week. Let's go.
Every week. Yeah, every week. So that was the breaking news that we got here. Chris Jericho most likely coming back, but on a part-time role because he's old, like Jerry Jones is old. Jonathan Coachman right there. He's going to be joining us every single Thursday night, talking some NFL, a little college football, maybe even some golf when we get a little bit closer to the season. You can catch his work. Obviously, he hosts the Coach and the Company, and he just told you where else to find him.